Welcome to Future of Flushing. I'm Vito Calisi. With me is Jonathan Barron, and over here is Nick Lorusso. Nick, let's just start off the bat talking. How has the transition been from college ball to pro ball?
It's definitely been an experience so far. Definitely a learning experience, but I've enjoyed a bunch of it. Even though it's not how I wanted it to necessarily start. I'm definitely learning and something that I could take away is a bunch of these experiences that I've had going into my first pro year next year.
Well, you were one of the most potent bats in all the nation in college ball. You were the first guy with 100 ribbies in a season and over 20 years in D1 baseball. You hold the Maryland record for RBIs in just 2 years. You transferred from Villanova to Maryland, so you accomplished that in no time. Just talk about, as you look back on your college days, how much it meant to you and what the experience was like.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the experiences with friends and teammates. That's something that I'll cherish forever. And just the learning process and the growing process. Going from Villanova to Maryland was something huge and something that I'll take away. Coming here to pro ball.
And you won the Big Ten title, so congrats. I'm an Indiana Hoosier guy, so I say that kind of half serious, half not.
Yeah.
But what was winning like for you?
Yeah, it was everything. I take this game, seriously, and winning comes before anything, before yourself or before anything in general. But that winning feeling is nothing like I've ever felt before. At my time at Villanova, unfortunately, we weren't able to win much. But at Maryland, it was something that was predicted, and we had high expectations for the year, and I think we did really well going into the regional, and it was just a fun experience, and winning makes everything a lot more fun.
Of course.
So you went to Maryland, you went to Villanova. Cheesesteaks or crab cakes?
Good question.
I'm a big cheesesteak guy. I'm a Philly. Got family in Philly, so.
Where's the place? Where do you go?
D'Alessandro's.
Nice.
It's one of my favorites.
As long as you don't say Geno's or Pat's,
yeah,
right?
no. But I wouldn't mind that either. But D'Alessandro's is one of the big ones.
I heard that Angelo's Pizzeria also has a fire cheesesteak.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had some Philly guys at Villanova, so they could tell you better than I can.
Did you leave Villanova because you were sick of the Philly accent?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Maryland's not better.
Yeah.
Not much better.
It's pretty much the same. It's like the same dialect.
Yeah.
Like it all comes from the same spots.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because if you go to a cheesesteak place and you say something like, I'll have a cheesesteak with cheese, they'll look at you like you're crazy.
It's a whiz.
Yeah, it's whiz.
Whiz.
Yeah, whiz-wit. Everything like that. So, but Philly was a great time. Maryland was a great time, and I'm happy to be in pro ball now.
You skip the FCL. You come right to the Florida State League. What's that transition like been from college pitching to pro ball pitching, and really, low A? It's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, definitely. The velocity is definitely there, for some guys, but not even so much pitching, but the fielders. I feel like those guys are definitely a lot better than what I've seen in college. The outfielders, they track down a lot of things nowadays. So definitely an experience, and all these guys are professionals now, so you can't take anything lightly.
You also had a chance to play in the Cape Cod League. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was there after the draft last year. Met a great group of friends up in Brewster, and did really well up there, and it was fun. It was very fun, and in a great environment too.
So what are your favorite areas of Cape Cod? Because I was actually looking to go on a trip there with my family a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Cape Cod's a whole crescent, and there's so many towns, and it
Yeah.
was like overwhelming. Do I go to P-Town that's like 6 hours away from New York?
Yeah.
Do I go to Orleans or Dennis or Chatham? There's just so many options. So give me a little scouting report on the Cod if you can.
Yeah, Orleans was definitely my favorite.
Okay.
They got a nice ballpark, but I went there for vacation one time, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful there, and I was only up in the Cape for about 3 weeks, and Brewster had some good spots too, but Orleans can't be beat.
You could tell he doesn't go there much because he called it the Cod.
I called it the Cod, not the Cape.
God.
Once it left my mouth, I was like, that's not right.
That's not it. That's not what
right.
our coworker kept referring you to. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wear the number 34.
Yeah.
There's a very famous baseball player who wears the number 34. Any reason you wore that specifically? Is it related to him?
No. When Bryce Harper did, wear it in Washington, it was definitely something that crossed my mind when, obviously I went to Maryland, but he's a tremendous player, doing special things in Philly right now, wearing the number 3. But definitely, I like to model my hitting after him, and what he's done at the plate is truly phenomenal.
Well, you're from the East Coast. You grew up in Connecticut. Who were some of the players that you grew up admiring the most?
Yeah, definitely. Number 1 is Derek Jeter. When I was a little kid,
It's okay.
playing
It's okay.
playing shortstop. Yeah. But, as I transitioned to third base, I looked at Nolan Arenado, what kind of fielder he was, what kind of hitter he was, and just, how he goes about the game.
What are some goals you have going into this offseason?
Definitely becoming stronger, faster. I think a lot of people will tell you that too. But, I'm definitely, gonna probably, fix some stuff in my swing, look back at, what went well, what didn't go well, and, fine tune some things.
Now, for some fans who don't know Nick Lorusso, definitely saw your name, but may not know Nick Lorusso. Why don't you tell Mets fans a little bit about Nick on the field, but also, and more importantly, off the field?
Yeah, no, on the field, you're going to get a competitive guy that's always looking to win first, and that's my mentality going in, and someone that's going to work as hard as they possibly can to achieve those things. And then off the field, I definitely have that, that fun side, that goofy side that people can, relate to really well. But, I make friends pretty easily. But, definitely, balancing the competitiveness with the fun is definitely, something about me that people should know.
Now, you're rooming with Nick Morabito. Do you guys is there a way to differentiate which Nick when people are referring to you guys?
That's a good question.
Yeah, not really. Maybe Nick M, Nick L, but
do you hear Nick a lot and you guys both turn around?
Oh, yeah. Whenever we go out to eat, whenever we're ordering stuff, whenever, we have friends over and they call Nick, obviously we're both turning. But, he's been a great roommate. He's been a great teammate and friend and, someone I've learned a couple things from as well.
Now, you were in here listening in when we just talked to Nick Morabito, a little peek behind the curtain. And we failed to ask Nick for a funny story about you as roommates. The kind of thing that only roommates would know about each other. Like Vito and I, we know things about each other. So Nick's not in here. Nick M, I should say.
Yeah.
So say whatever you want.
So say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
Give us some good stuff about Nick M, the roommate Nick M. We know about Nick M, the ball player.
No, he's a fantastic dude. He definitely has that, that funny side to him as well. We've gotten along really well, kind of share, some similar traits, but going into some stories, I mean, not much you can really say, but he's just overall been a great friend, and, we've bonded really well, spending a lot of time together.
Who's better at video games?
I don't know. We've been playing Call of Duty, some zombies lately, and we've both done really well. So
Okay.
I'll give the edge to him for now.
Do a lot of I mean, everybody here plays Call of Duty. Everybody here plays MLB The Show.
Yeah.
And you all have, for the most part, your own systems.
Yeah.
Are you guys linking up online?
Yeah, absolutely. They've kind of done this cross-platform now where you can Xbox and play with PS5, so it's definitely easier now. And, we've gotten a lot of, not only Nick, but teammates in general who are playing, some different games, so we're linking up with them as well.
Now, your last name is Lorusso. Have you seen The Karate Kid?
Of course. You know how many times I get this question?
I bet. But you want to hear something crazy? Yesterday we were talking to some of the high school guys. They're young, dude.
Yeah, I know,
it's
young.
terrifying.
Yeah.
None of them have seen Space Jam.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You've seen Space Jam,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh yeah.
Both of them? I'm talking the first one, most importantly.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the Mighty Ducks movies? Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Man.
You seen Little Big League?
Of course, yeah. That was a while ago. I might have been. I can't even remember.
I mean,
how old
we're
I
all
was.
adults.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us are sitting back going, I'm going to turn on
Yeah,
Little Big
no.
League right now.
It's
Yeah.
on MLB Network quite frequently.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That rookie. What about Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the
With
year.
the Cubs,
Yep.
Rowan Gardner.
Yep. I'm more of it. I was a big Moneyball fan.
Okay. Who isn't?
As a child?
I mean, no. My dad would watch it. He's a big baseball guy. He would always turn on the game, and I watched that when I was young, and I've continued to watch it.
The anniversary of the Scott Hatterberg home run, I think, was yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah, today is September 5th, by the way. Not to, I guess we have to put that out there if I'm going to use words like yesterday.
I don't think anybody's going to go, you know what? I think he's wrong about the date.
No.
I know you're not wrong about the date.
I'm not wrong.
I don't think anybody's going to fact check us based on you saying that one thing.
Well, I just wanted to be clear so no one, no one's like, well, when are they recording? How am I supposed to know?
How have you been enjoying PSL so far?
It's a lot of fun. I have family a little bit away. Not sure about the town name. I forgot about that, but.
You don't want to tell. We could leave that separate.
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
not
want to
gonna
dox
dox
anybody.
No, but it's definitely been an enjoyable time, and I've only been here obviously for 2 months, but I'm looking forward to this coming week, and obviously the off season, but definitely getting back here for my first full year of pro ball. I think it's going to be something truly special.
Now, speaking of towns, you played Big Ten ball, Big Ten guy myself. I need you to tell me. And you don't need to give me just one, because before we started, you gave me an answer. What were your 3 favorite, not including College Park, which is very nice, by the way. I've been to College Park, had a great time.
Yeah.
Give me your top 3 Big Ten cities, Big Ten college towns.
Yeah. Indiana was definitely one. I'll give you that. 2 was Columbus, Ohio State. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Probably because I had family out there too. And 3 was Purdue, surprisingly. Surprisingly, I don't know why.
What did you like about West Lafayette?
It might have been because my first year at Maryland, that's when we won our first Big Ten regular season title. But it was definitely, for whatever reason, we went around campus and it just pleased me a lot. So, but it definitely added something special when we did win our first Big Ten championship in over 50 years, our first year at Maryland.
But what's your favorite of all of them? The top 3 now. What's number 1?
I'll give you Indiana.
Bloomington, Indiana.
That one was a good time.
Charming place.
It is.
Can't beat it.
Well, college ends. You hit the draft. Do you want to tell us about what draft night was like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely stressful and and sweet at the same time. I was with my family in Philadelphia. We've been hearing phone calls throughout the morning of saying what rounds we're going to be in. Potentially earlier than what we expected. And as round, kind of 7 ended, that's kind of when I was supposed to hear my name. And when we didn't have that phone call, it was more of the family was like, oh boy, is this isn't going as planned. But, as the 8th round came along, a lot of teams started picking up the phone, calling. And then the Mets were the first ones to pull the trigger in the 9th. So definitely very grateful. Definitely a lot of lifelong friends who are Mets fans who gave me the call after. And they were truly pumped as well. And, I'm excited to be here and excited to get going.
What was the spread like?
Oh, we had, obviously pasta, pizza, anything you could think of Italian is, as my mom likes.
What's your favorite pasta shape?
I'd go penne.
Classic.
Penne.
Not the cartwheels?
No.
Not cartwheels. What's it called?
The
Whatever. The wheels. You know what I'm talking
I know
about,
what you're
right?
talking about.
But that's not a good one?
It's not a good one, no.
What about bow ties? I think bow ties are underrated.
bow ties. He calls them bow ties.
What are they called?
Look it up.
I'm going to look it up. We're in the middle of a podcast interview right now. I'm not going to...
It's fun. We know something and you don't. Usually he knows a lot of stuff and I don't. So this is a fun little twist of worlds.
Well, I was going to ask if you've been to Citi Field yet, but I'm now thinking, I'm trying to racking my brain as to what it's called.
Well, in the meantime, I'll ask you, have you been to Citi Field?
Of course. As I said, lifelong friends, are huge Mets fans, and they took me to some games, and it's a blast there. I even went to the old Shea Stadium when I was really young.
I like that. That's why you've seen Space Jam. You're in touch with your elder side.
Yeah, definitely.
Love that.
Do you have any moments of seeing Met? Do you have any moments? Do you remember of going to a Mets game, Shea Stadium or Citi Field? Any special games you went to?
I was a fan of David Wright, obviously. And obviously
baseman.
being a third baseman. But one of his games, I think he might have had 4 hits or something, and he absolutely went off. But nothing too crazy.
And what did you think of the fans at Citi Field when you were there as a kid?
Yeah, they're rowdy. Obviously, New Yorkers are pretty rowdy, you know, especially, growing up as a Yankees fan and, being in the Bronx. But, yeah, definitely New Yorkers can get a little rowdy, especially if the team doesn't perform well.
Especially. Well, when it is your time at Citi Field, not as a fan in the stands, but a player, and you're walking up to the plate for the first time, taking that first plate appearance, what's the walk-up song going to be? Have you thought about that one?
I haven't, but right now here, I have a Rihanna song.
There's been a lot of Rihanna.
Everybody here brings up Rihanna songs.
I know.
What's your song?
It's Pour It Up. And
no two are the same, I'll say that.
Yeah, a big catalog.
Yeah, Pour It Up. And a lot of the Spanish teammates really like Rihanna, so they definitely get into it when I step up to the plate.
Yeah, Rihanna. I didn't realize she had such a big contingent of fans here at Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that she had such good walk-up music. Never, if you said to me who has more walk-up music than anybody in PSL, I would not have said Rihanna. And I like Rihanna.
Yeah.
High's a great song. I love the song Higher. It's a little slower, it's a little fun. But Nick, thanks so much for taking the time to sit with us, dude. And we're excited to watch the rest of your career, dude.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me.
And I'm gonna go study on my pasta for the next time we talk.